Alright, well hello there, you. It's been a while since our last conversation. It's focused. Am I focused? Are you focused?
There we go, now he's focused. Wait.
Are you focused? Are you focused? Are you focused? Are you... We have like a crew of 10 here.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. So the goal is to make one video a day on YouTube. We don't know yet what these videos are about, but here we are, showing up.
Alright, what is the first book that made you cry?
Oof. What is the first book that made me cry? I'm gonna sound so cheesy. It is most likely a Harry Potter book when Cedric Diggory died.
Self-help books made me cry.
Self-help books. I'm helpless.
You read it and you're like, nope, this isn't helping.
No. A New Earth. A New Earth is a non-fiction book that made me cry. It's funny. I feel like I need to work up my fiction reading. I've been reading a lot of non-fiction lately. Anyway, next question.
Alright, do you want each book to stand on its own, or are you trying to build a body of work with connections between each book?
I am most definitely trying to build a body of work with connections within each book. It is called The Time Travel Tales. It will be announced after Horatio in the Wind kind of picks up steam. And the idea is that the audience will travel through the different time periods in the lives of the members of this family of characters. They shall all be connected. I am basically, as my friend would put it, George Lucasing myself.
Okay, so do you view writing as a kind of spiritual practice?
Writing as a spiritual practice. Yeah, for sure. I actually wrote that today in my journal. I wrote, you're an active thinker, so you can be an active writer. You're an active writer. The act of putting words to paper definitely helps me stay relaxed. Right now I'm going through a little bit of phase of like, I don't know, that's why I disappeared from videos. I was just wondering, is this what I want to do consistently, constantly? Is it inspiring people? Is it inspiring me? Am I enjoying it? Am I overwhelmed? And the truth is, there's a little bit of both. A lot of times I enjoy myself. A lot of times I am overwhelmed. But yes, writing is a spiritual practice, for short.
So the answer is yes?
So the answer is yes. Yes.
Okay, so we know Horatio in the Wind is for, geared kind of towards kids. It is technically a kid's book, but there's more to it than that. But what is your favorite childhood book?
My favorite childhood book. I will tell you what my favorite childhood book is, and then I will talk about the whole Horatio only for kids thing. That's very in my mind. My favorite book I read as a child. I wasn't much of a reader until the Harry Potter books, actually. But one of my favorite children's book is the Fantastic Flying Books of Mr. Morris Lesmore, which I used a lot as inspiration for Horatio when it comes to like formatting and the way that the book appeared, like a movie. So yeah, I'd say the Fantastic Flight Books of Mr. Morris Lesmore, and I love Where the Wild Things Are, for sure.
Where the Wild Things Are, yeah, that's a good one.
And then Horatio in the Wind, yes, it's for kids, but I really love to stretch the fact that, to me, a good children's book speaks to the adult's inner child, and this book is for sure tailored a lot towards that inner child in the young adult or the older kid. And I really want people to have the full experience and make sure that they listen to the very much free when you buy the book, you get for free the audio companion, which is the full experience. You're supposed to have this movie in your lap, and I want you to experience it that way.
All right, so we know that you are bilingual.
I am bilingual, yes. And I am by other things. We're gonna cut that out. I am bilingual, yes.
Yes. All right, and then so language is pretty important to you, correct? Like learning language and being all about language. What was your early experience? What was your early experience where you learned the language had power and was magic?
Damn, these are like thoughtful questions where thought could have probably gone into answering beforehand. When did I feel like language was powerful? Um, since I was probably like about 14, I started writing novels when I was like 14, and it was a great escape from like being. I wouldn't want to say like that's the thing. I didn't appear to be a very scared person, but I didn't feel as brave as some characters that I read in books, and I didn't feel as brave as like friends that appeared to be cooler than me somehow. So I loved, escaping into my own worlds and putting them into paper, and it's pretty powerful. Sometimes even if nobody reads what you're writing, when you put your thoughts like that into sentences that you read back and you're like, wow, this is good. Like there's something very cathartic about that. So yeah, I've loved writing stories since always. Horatio's tiny origin story I wrote when I was 9. So way to go, 9-year-old me.
Do you think writing what do you think? Where do you think writing is going to take you?
Where do I think writing is going to take me? Where do I think writing is going to take me at that? Well, I mean, I don't know. I hope it takes me through life. I hope that through my writing I get to connect with a lot of people. I hope it takes me places where I get to hang out and get to know more people, get to touch the lives of people, like I hope that there's a moment, when because it's really interesting how different readers react different ways. Like I've had, a few people read the book and go like, oh cool, and then you have those type of people who like finish the book and they're moved to their core and they look up at you and they like really want to have a conversation about what it means to be afraid of dying, to be which is kind of what the book is about. And I really kind of live for those moments where like when the reader kind of recognize something within the story, and then like Horatio's not mine anymore, it's theirs now, and there's this moment of feeling like almost like one, like you see it, like you saw what I was trying to say, you get it, like it's yours now, and it is, and those moments kind of get me like off the charts high. It's nice.
Why is Horatio in the Wind your first story about, conquering death, and, what importance does death have to you?
Well, I was very scared of dying as a little kid, for sure. I was like cry myself to sleep every night. My parents trying to explain, like, you're not gonna die yet. It's gonna be a while, and I'd be like, you don't know that. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's the first I overcame that fear. I feel most of the time very relaxed around the subject of like my own mortality, and I don't know, it's just kind of really the first book that decided to come through and be formed, the first story that really spoke to me. Like I was like, oh wow, this is the first book that I'm gonna publish, like I've written books before and they end up in a drawer, and I think they're good ideas and maybe I'll revisit them when I'm older, but this was the first one that I wrote, and I was like, wow, this is good. I could go through the whole process of self-publishing it and creating it in a way that it really looks like there's a publisher behind it, and then I'll find a publishing deal for it. Like I guess that was my approach to it. I for some reason felt like I had to do it on my own. I don't know if I was overwhelmed by the idea of finding a publisher, but I'm glad I did it the way I did it. I'm glad the book is done and it looks the way it looks and it is the way it is, and I got to do it. And now distribution or publishing or whatever it is, because it's technically published already. It is not even technically; it's published already. HoratioInTheWind.com, but I want it to be everywhere.
Let's see the book. Can I see it?
Oh yes, please.
Ooh. Okay, so what's your favorite graphic. If you had to choose one image in the book, like not the title, because obviously the title's fantastic, but like what is the
One
picture that maybe, because you also, not only did you write it, but I've heard that you drew out all of the images, correct?
Yeah, I did all the sketch concept for the book. So for like the illustrations for placement and kind of like the wardrobe design, and then I had first Robert Nyland and then Liz Ramis and another girl whose name unfortunately I have a very hard time pronouncing. I've only met her online, but a great team of illustrators. And my favorite illustration would be. So, okay, little inside fact. The crystal serves one purpose for Horatio, which is to show him where death is at. He can keep an eye on death. Every time death disappears from the crystal, someone dies. And the function of the crystal in the universe, the interactive universe, as you may say, of the time travel tales, is to give the character that holds it what they think that they want. Horatio thinks that he wants life without death, and so he gets death through the crystal. Not everyone's gonna get death through the crystal.
Okay.
Some people will get power through the crystal. Some people will get... I can't ruin that without ruining this book.
If you could hold a magic crystal, what would you get?
Oof. What would I get? I would get, if I could hold that crystal, well, I think that's what I think, because it might trick me and give me something else, but I think what I would get is...
What would you want would be better?
I would want the crystal to give me absolute certainty that I am where I'm supposed to be and doing what I'm supposed to do.